Hey there candidates, welcome to Educate. Let us do this question on pedigree diagrams. It says cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder that is caused by a recessive allele B. The pedigree diagram below shows the inheritance of cystic fibrosis in a certain family. So now, basically, this is what you are given, a pedigree diagram. Remember, I've told you in my previous video on how to interpret a pedigree diagram and how to get the free marks, like 2.4.1. How many generations are represented in the diagram above? Remember, when you're looking at generations, you just look at rows. In this case, we've got one row, 2, 3. So we've got 3 rows here of individuals, basically. So this is the first generation. This 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the parents, the main parents. They gave birth to 5 and 6. This is the second generation. They gave birth to 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. This is the third generation. So there are 3 generations in this diagram. So 3 generations. And then now it says give the genotype of individual 9. Now we bring this analysis. Remember, I said that when you are assigning genotypes, you read the statement. You read the statement very carefully, grade 12. You do not guess. You read the statement. I told you that when you read the statement, if you are told that the allele that is causing this characteristic is a recessive allele, just like here, you can see they say cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder caused by a recessive allele. When it's a recessive allele, or if it's a recessive allele, all the shaded individuals, they must be homozygous recessive for the condition. Alright, in this case, the condition is a recessive condition represented by small letter b. That is someone who has got cystic fibrosis. So now, the moment you see that it's a recessive allele, all individuals that are shaded, they must be homozygous recessive. So they must have 2 recessive alleles. In this case, we are asked about individual number 9. Individual number 9 is shaded. It's a male that has got cystic fibrosis. So this male has got a genotype small letter b, small letter b. So small letter b, small letter b. Please watch that video on pedigree diagram so that you understand how to analyze. You just look at the allele that is causing the condition. In this case, it's a recessive allele. All the shaded individuals, they must be in a homozygous recessive condition. And then now, explain why both individual 5 and 6 must be heterozygous for cystic fibrosis. Now you have to continue with this analysis. So I will just furthermore say that the genotype for individual 8 is going to be small letter b as well, because the person is shaded, the person is affected with this particular condition. So now that you have to explain 5 and 6, you can just say that 5 and 6, they are the parents. They are the parents for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children. So these are 2 parents that have got 6 children. So we have got 5, which is a male, which is the father of those 6 children. And then we have got individual 6, which is the mother, which is the female. And then they basically make the babies. These are the babies. There are 6 of them. So now, as they're making the babies, we realize that the parents 5 and 6, they are not infected. They do not have the condition cystic fibrosis. They do not have the condition. They are not infected. So it just means that they are not in a homozygous recessive condition. So they can either have capital letter B, both of them, or they can have capital letter B, small letter b. So basically here you have to now explain, why do the individuals 5 and 6, why are we saying that they are heterozygous for cystic fibrosis? We go to tip number 2. Assign each parent a genotype. To assign the parents a genotype, how do you do that? If all the offspring have the same phenotype, or they've got the same physical characteristics, then the parents are homozygous. Okay, if all the offspring have got the same phenotype. In this case, that is not true, because you can see that 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12, these 6 children, these 6 siblings, they do not have the same phenotype. Some of them are shaded, some of them are not shaded. The fact that some of them are shaded, some of them are not shaded, some of them have the condition of cystic fibrosis, some of them do not have the condition of cystic fibrosis. So this tells us that condition number 1 doesn't apply. Condition number 2, if the offspring have got different phenotypes, then at least one of the parents must be in a heterozygous condition. In this case, that is true because you can see that individual number 8 and individual number 9, they do have the condition, whereas individual 7, individual number 11, as well as individual number 10 and 12, all of them, they don't have the condition. So we can use condition 2 that says if the offspring have different phenotypes, then one of the parents have to be heterozygous. But in this case, all the parents, they do not have the condition. So both of them, they do have to be heterozygous. So now how do you explain that in words? For better way, if you are not good in structuring the words, I recommend that when you answer such questions, you first cross them. You say that you have been told that they must be heterozygous. Just say that you've got B, B, you've got B, B. So this is parent 5 and parent 6, individual 5 and individual 6, the male and the female. So now, as you cross these two, this capital letter B and capital letter B will give you BB. This capital letter B and small letter b, that side will give you capital letter B, small letter b. And then the third combination, which is this small letter b and the first capital letter B here, will give you B and small letter b. And then the fourth condition, the fourth possible combination that we can have here is this small letter b combining with this small letter b. This will be small letter b, small letter b. So after doing this, they can even give you marks for doing this. So you should always do this whenever you are answering questions that need you to reason. All right. So now, how do you reason this in words to say that these parents, they must be heterozygous? First of all, you can see that both the parents, they must have the dominant allele. Okay, why do we say that? Remember, we've said that small letter b is a recessive allele for the condition. Someone who has the condition must have small letter b, but the parents, they do not have the condition, so they must have a capital letter B. Remember, it's opposition. Dominant, if the recessive allele is representing someone who is sick of a certain disease, then the dominant will represent someone who is not sick for that disease. In this case, the recessive, it is small letter b, sick with cystic fibrosis. So capital letter B, it will be someone that doesn't have cystic fibrosis. You just talk about what you are seeing. All right. So in this case, you can say that both the parents must have a dominant allele. Both parents must have a dominant allele. Why do you say that? Because they are not infected. You can mention that. So you never know how the mark allocation is at the marking center, but basically they must have a dominant allele in them. All right, they must have a dominant allele because they do not have cystic fibrosis. All right, because they do not have cystic fibrosis, they are not infected. Remember, the dominant allele, it is opposite. It is opposite to the recessive allele. So when the recessive allele says they have cystic fibrosis, then the dominant will say they do not have. So you've explained that both parents, they must have a dominant allele because they do not have cystic fibrosis. You have explained because a heterozygous condition, it is capital letter and small letter. So you are trying to explain how did we get the capital letter, the dominant allele. You got it because both the parents, they do have a dominant allele. Why is that? Because they do not have cystic fibrosis. Remember, you are applying here, you are applying the knowledge that I've been teaching you all along to say that when the recessive is someone who has a condition, then the dominant, it will be someone that does not have a condition. All right. So in this case, the small letter, the recessive allele, small letter b, represents someone who has cystic fibrosis. All right. Now they say explain why both 5 and 6 must be heterozygous. You have explained that the both parents, they must have a dominant allele because heterozygous is made up of a dominant and a recessive. Now you have explained that the dominant allele, it is coming from the fact that the parents, they are not having the condition, they don't have cystic fibrosis. It is opposing the small letter recessive allele that shows that the parents have cystic fibrosis. And then now, you now explain the small letter b. How do you end up saying that the parents, they do have a small letter b? You can now say that individual 8 and individual 9, the children, individual 8 and 9, they do have a cystic fibrosis. So individual 8 and 9, or the offspring 8 and 9, have cystic fibrosis. So you can just mention in brackets their genotype, that they will have a genotype BB. Okay, so you have said individual 8 and 9, they do have cystic fibrosis. Alright, because you can see that here they are shaded. Alright, female with cystic fibrosis, it is individual number 9, and the male, individual number 8, they do have cystic fibrosis. So now, how does that explain the genotypes of the parents? One thing that you should know is that these alleles that are inherited by the offspring, it is coming from the parents. So basically, the alleles are coming from the parents. So whenever we are talking about the alleles that the children have, it means they've inherited them from both the parents. In this case, this indicates to us that they have inherited, all right? So individual 8 and 9 have got a cystic fibrosis, or they've got the recessive allele. You can say that they have a recessive allele since they are infected with this condition. So this actually shows that they've inherited. So we can just say these alleles have been inherited. They have been, okay, this shows that the alleles have been inherited. And how can the alleles be inherited? They've been inherited from the parents. They've been inherited from the parents, 5 and 6, the ones that we are being asked about. So here you've explained both parts of the question, because the question is asking, why are the individuals 5 and 6, which are the parents of these 6 children, why do they have why are they in a heterozygous state? So you're actually supposed to explain why do they have a dominant allele and a recessive allele, because heterozygous just means that. So you explain the dominant allele, as we have done, by saying that they do not have cystic fibrosis. So they must have a dominant allele because it's opposing the recessive allele. And how do you explain the small letter b, which is the recessive allele? Or do they have it? You explain that their children have the recessive allele, or they are infected. They do have the recessive allele causing this condition. So the parents must also have it because they have inherited, the children inherit the alleles from the parents. So make no mistakes on that. Now here, 2.4.4, using the letters B and the letters small letter b, do a genetic cross to show the inheritance of cystic fibrosis when heterozygous parents are crossed. So you want to just show that you have got heterozygous parents like 5 and 6, and you are crossing them. You want to show the phenotypes of the offspring. Basically, for a genetic cross, remember, you start with P1, the parent generation. You mention the phenotypes of the parents. All right. So since we have said that both the parents are being are heterozygous, so they must have capital letter B and small letter b, a dominant and a recessive allele. But according to Mendel's law of inheritance, it just says that when we have got a heterozygous condition or an heterozygous individual for a particular characteristic, then the dominant characteristic or the dominant allele, it will be the one that will be shown in the phenotype. So the phenotype here, it will be based on the dominant allele. In this case, the recessive allele is sick, which is small letter b. It's someone that has got cystic fibrosis. So the dominant allele, it must be someone that is normal. So basically, we have got a normal male. You have a normal male. It doesn't have a condition. The phenotype just shows the normal person, but there is a recessive allele that is marked. So a normal male crossed with a normal female, like this. In this case, you can further mention their genotypes. So the genotype for the normal male, we have said it's heterozygous, capital letter B, small letter b, crossing with the normal female, capital letter B, small letter b. And then when you cross these, remember that the next process is meiosis, which leads to the formation of gametes. The gametes that will form here, it will be capital letter B, you separate with a comma, small letter b. You cross this, capital letter B, you separate with a comma, small letter b. And then now you do fertilization. So fertilization will occur here so that we can make our offspring. So during fertilization, you can see that here, this is capital letter B, capital letter B. So this will give us the genotypes for the F1 generation. Genotypes. So this is capital letter B, capital letter B. And then the next combination, it is this capital letter B crossing with that small letter b from the female side. So this is capital letter B, small letter b. You just combine them. The next combination is small letter b crossing with this capital letter B. You start with the capital letter though. Capital letter B, small letter b. And then the last combination, it is this small letter b crossing it with this small letter b. It is small letter b, small letter b. So these are the genotypes for the possible genotypes for the F1 generation, the feline generation. So to interpret the phenotypes for this, you can see that this is capital letter B, capital letter B, capital letter B, small letter b, capital letter B, small letter b. All of these, they've got the same phenotype because all of them, they have a dominant allele in them, right? So since they have the dominant allele in them, they will be all normal. So we have got three normal. We have got three normal individuals. This is not sex linked, so it can be male or female, but there are three normal individuals. And then here, this is a small letter b, small letter b. We have said that the allele that causes this condition is a recessive allele. So basically, this is going to be one individual with cystic fibrosis. So if they say do a ratio of the phenotypes, you're just going to have 3:1. If they say show the percentages for the normal one, it will be 3/4 multiplied by 100. This will be 75%. And then the percentages for the ones that have got cystic fibrosis is 1/4 times 100. So it means there are 25% chances of getting an individual with a cystic fibrosis. So basically, in a sense here, this is how you approach the question. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to also stay tuned.